You were not born to survive. You were born to create. You were designed to shape your environment, not be shaped by it. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. It's a life without purpose. A dream buried alive under fear, routine, and doubt. You were never designed to wake up, work, pay bills, and die. You were born with an idea, an assignment, a dream, but until you become intentional, that dream remains a fantasy. Today, I want to teach you how to take that dream out of your mind and build it into reality, clarify your vision. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. That's the first truth about vision. Most people are frustrated not because they lack potential, but because they lack direction. They wake up every morning responding to life instead of commanding it. They drift through the days, surviving from paycheck to paycheck, reacting to problems, reacting to people, reacting to pressure, yet they never pause to define where they're going. It is dangerous to be busy without direction. It is exhausting to run fast in the wrong direction. Vision is not about what you see with your eyes. Vision is what you see with your spirit. It's the mental picture of your future that keeps you alive when everything else around you is telling you to give up. When you have vision, you don't need motivation. You wake up with fire. You don't need applause. You already see the finish line. Vision is what separates those who exist from those who lead. Do you remember Joseph in the prison? The man had no connections, no lawyer, no allies, just a vision in his heart. And that vision carried him from the prison to the palace, not because of luck, but because vision attracts opportunity. Vision magnetizes people, places, and resources. Vision gives your struggle value. When you know where you're going, even your pain has a purpose. You see, in life, there are two types of people: those who are living from memory and those who are living from vision. One wakes up talking about what used to be. The other wakes up building what's about to be. And the truth is, the life of your dreams will never manifest until you decide intentionally what that dream actually looks like. Don't say, I want to be successful. That's vague. That's a wish, not a vision. What does success mean to you? Is it owning a business? Is it traveling the world? Is it buying your mother a house? Is it being able to retire at 45? Until you define it, life will keep defining it for you. You'll keep running after things that look like success but feel like emptiness. Many people climb the ladder of success only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. You need to get still, get quiet, and ask yourself, what do I want? What moves me? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? That's not selfishness, that's stewardship. If you don't answer that question, someone else will answer it for you. Your boss will define your vision. Your family's fears will define your vision. Your bank account will define your vision. Your trauma will define your vision. And then you'll spend your whole life becoming something you never truly wanted to be. I remember speaking to a young woman who worked in finance. She had a great salary, a corner office, everything most people would envy. But she was miserable. She told me, every morning I wake up with a knot in my stomach. I feel like I'm wasting my life. And I asked her a simple question: what's your real dream? Without hesitation, she said, I want to be a teacher. I want to help young kids believe in themselves. That's vision. That's clarity. But she was trapped in an image of success that society gave her, not a vision that fulfilled her. When your vision is clear, decisions become easy. When your vision is cloudy, life becomes complicated. You spend your day second guessing everything. Should I take this job? Should I move? Should I date this person? Should I start this business? But when your vision is sharp, you know instantly whether something aligns or not. You're no longer pulled by pressure. You're driven by purpose. People without vision settle. They settle for jobs that drain them. They settle for relationships that break them. They settle for environments that shrink them. You were not created to settle. You were created to soar. But you cannot soar in the fog. You need clarity. You need to write the vision and make it plain. Put it on your wall. Speak it over your life every morning. See it in your mind before you ever see it in your hands. Do you want to know why vision is so powerful? Because vision creates discipline. You can't be distracted when you know where you're going. You won't waste time with people who don't match your destiny. You won't spend your money like a fool. You won't feed your mind with garbage. Why? Because vision creates standards. Vision is a filter. It tells you this belongs in my life and this doesn't. When I was young, I used to wonder why some people with less talent, less education, less background still rose to the top. And I found out it wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was vision. They saw something nobody else could see, and they locked into that vision like a heat-seeking missile. They weren't better than the rest. They were just more focused. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be clear. Imagine two builders given the same materials. One has a blueprint, the other doesn't. Who do you think will build something valuable? Life is the same way. You were given materials, your gifts, your time, your energy, your ideas. But without vision, those materials are wasted. Your dream is the blueprint, your discipline is the labor, and your decisions are the bricks. So the question is not whether you have a dream. The real question is, have you clarified it? Have you written it down? Can you explain it in one sentence? Can you see it so clearly that you can't be talked out of it, even on your worst day? Until the picture is clear, the power won't be released. Identify your gift. You were never meant to chase success. You were meant to release your gift. That's the secret most people miss. You can read all the books, attend all the conferences, mimic the lifestyle of successful people, but if you ignore your gift, you'll always feel like you're climbing the wrong mountain. Your gift is not something you learned. It's something you were born with. It's the thing you do better than anyone else with the least amount of effort. It's what you do naturally that others struggle to do even with training. And the tragedy is most people never discover it because they're too busy trying to fit into a mold they were never shaped for. In school, they taught you how to pass tests, not how to find your gift. They told you to choose a safe career, not a meaningful one. And so you buried your gift under expectations. You silenced your instincts and followed the crowd. Now you work hard, but you feel empty. You earn a salary, but you're starving for purpose. That's because you're functioning outside of your design. When a fish is on land, it struggles not because it's weak, but because it's in the wrong environment. You were created to dominate in the area of your gifting. Your gift is not always flashy. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet ability to solve problems, the natural way you calm people in crisis, the way you can organize chaos into clarity, the way you create, sing, write, lead, build, or serve. It might be something you've overlooked because it came so easily to you. But ease is the indicator of grace. What you call nothing is the very thing others are praying for. I remember talking to a man who worked in a bank for over 15 years. He was excellent at his job, but miserable in his soul. One day I asked him, "What would you do every day for free if money wasn't an issue?" He said, "I'd work with my hands. I love building furniture." His eyes lit up, his posture changed, his gift surfaced. I told him, that's your clue. That's your grace zone. You're trying to succeed in a system that doesn't need your real power. Most people are exhausted not because they're lazy, but because they're grinding in areas where they have no grace. You were not designed to hustle your way into purpose. Your gift was meant to make room for you. It attracts opportunities. It generates income. It opens doors. But here's the key. It only works when you believe in it. A gift buried under doubt becomes dead weight. You must believe that what you carry has value. The world may not validate it at first. People may ignore it. But if you keep showing up in your gifting, the right doors will open. Let's be clear, your gift is not your job title. Your gift is not your degree. Your gift is not even your current position. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your gift is what you were born to do. There's a difference. Some of you are engineers, but your gift is storytelling. Some of you are assistants, but your gift is leadership. Some of you are in sales, but your gift is innovation. You must look beyond the label and dig into the core. What flows through you with ease? What do people always compliment, even when you're not trying? What do you lose track of time doing? That's your gift whispering to you. And let me say this, you don't need everyone to approve of your gift before you activate it. Some people won't see your value until the world celebrates you. That's okay. Your job is to master your gift in silence. Become so good at it that it becomes undeniable. Excellence is louder than opinion. Your gift doesn't need permission. It needs discipline. Every day you ignore it, you delay your future. Every day you delay practicing it, you postpone your purpose. You don't get good at your gift overnight. You refine it, you develop it, you study, train, apply pressure until your gift becomes your weapon. I once met a woman who had a gift for making people laugh and feel seen. She worked at a front desk. But every person who walked into that office left feeling lighter. Her coworkers didn't respect her much, so they saw her as just the receptionist. But one day, a producer came in and noticed her energy. Long story short, she now hosts her own show. That's what happens when your gift meets the right moment. But she had been sharpening that gift every day, even in obscurity. Stop waiting for a platform to show up before you develop your gift. Stop waiting for validation. The world doesn't owe you recognition. It owes you nothing. But your gift owes you everything. It's your tool, your weapon, your assignment. Your gift is your lane. And when you find your lane, there's no traffic. You don't compete, you dominate. Because no one else can be you. No one else can carry what you carry. You were born to release something specific into the earth. You're not a mistake. You're not average. You're not here to blend in. The proof that you're needed is that you're here. And the proof that you're powerful is the unique gift that lies within you. Discipline your mind. Discipline is not a punishment. It is protection. It is the bridge between your desire and your destiny. Most people pray for elevation, but avoid the process that creates it. They want the crown, but not the cross. They want the result, but not the routine. But listen closely, the dream life you desire will never manifest until you discipline your mind to align with that future. Your outer world will never rise beyond your inner world. You cannot build a palace of peace with bricks of confusion. You cannot manifest greatness with a mind that entertains weakness all day. Your mind is your battlefield. Every day, You wake up to a war, not with people, not with circumstances, but with thoughts. Thoughts that whisper, you're not good enough. Thoughts that say, it's too late for you. Thoughts that tell you to stay in bed, scroll your phone, ignore your goals, settle for comfort. And if you do not discipline your mind, those thoughts will become your beliefs. And once a lie becomes your belief, it becomes your limitation. Let me tell you something powerful. The most dangerous prison is not the one made of walls. It's the one built with thoughts. You can be free on the outside and still bound inside. There are people walking around with all the potential in the world, but their mind has handcuffed their future. They want to be bold, but they keep thinking small. They want to take action, but their mind convinces them to delay. That's why discipline isn't optional. It's essential. You have to train your mind like a muscle. You can't just wish for peace, wish for focus, wish for excellence. You must build it rep after rep, decision after decision. I once heard a story of a man who lost everything. His business collapsed, his family abandoned him, and his health was deteriorating. But he made a decision every morning. He would wake up and speak life into his future. He would sit in silence for 15 minutes and visualize himself winning. Not because he saw it outside, but because he believed it inside. Day by day, his thinking changed. He began to act like the man he envisioned. Within a year, he started a new company. Within 2 years, he rebuilt his relationships. Within 3 years, he was mentoring others out of the same dark place he had once escaped. What changed? Not his environment, his mind. Discipline starts with what you allow into your thoughts. If your mind is a garden, then every thought is a seed. Some thoughts produce flowers, produce weeds. What are you watering? Are you feeding your mind with truth, strength, and clarity, or are you feeding it with fear, gossip, doubt, and distractions? You cannot expect a harvest of peace if you plant seeds of worry all day long. You cannot expect confidence if all you do is scroll through the lives of others, comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reels. That's why your habits matter. Your routine is a reflection of your priorities. Don't just wake up and let the day happen to you. Command your morning. Take control of the first 30 minutes. Before the world has a chance to shape your mind, you shape it. Speak affirmations, meditate on your goals, visualize your future, journal your thoughts. Read something that strengthens your spirit. Your mind will go where you lead it. If you don't lead it, it will lead you into fear, frustration, and fatigue. You have to get serious about protecting your mental diet. If someone wouldn't let you dump trash into their living room, why do you let toxic ideas dump into your mind all day? There are people who spend more time watching drama than developing discipline. They consume everything except the one thing that would change their life, truth. You don't need another opinion. You need alignment. You need silence. You need stillness. Because clarity is born in quiet places, not in chaos. I remember a young woman who told me she couldn't focus on her dreams because of the noise in her mind. I asked her, what do you feed your mind with? She listed off podcasts, shows, social media pages, and even people she talks to daily. None of them challenged her to grow. All of them entertained her emptiness. I told her the truth, your mind will either be your servant or your saboteur, and you get to decide which one it becomes by what you feed it daily. Discipline is saying no to what doesn't align, even when it feels good. It's choosing the hard path now so that your future becomes easier later. It's the power to delay gratification, the power to stick with your routine even when no one is clapping for you. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It's saying no to that shortcut because you know where you're going is bigger than a moment of pleasure. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about never failing. It's about never quitting. You don't need more motivation. Motivation comes and goes. What you need is a system, a non-negotiable rhythm of daily thoughts and actions that keep you focused even when life gets noisy. That's the secret of the most successful people. They don't depend on feelings. They depend on discipline. They don't wait until it's convenient. They commit until it's complete. Your mind is the control center of your life. If you don't train it, life will tame it. If you don't master it, the world will mold it. And if you don't discipline it, your dream will remain a wish instead of a reality. Set clear daily goals. Most people want a big life, but they're afraid of taking small steps. They want the mountaintop, but they don't want the daily climb. Let me tell you something powerful. Success is not found in the explosion. It's hidden in the repetition. The secret to living the life of your dreams is not in waiting for some breakthrough moment, but in waking up every single day and setting clear, focused, intentional goals. That's how you create your future. That's how you manifest purpose. Not by luck, not by accident, by deliberate daily direction. You don't drift into greatness. You don't stumble into destiny. You must aim for like a laser. When you wake up without a goal, your mind wanders. And a wandering mind is a wasted mind. A person without goals is like a car without a steering wheel. You might have an engine, you might even have fuel, but you're not going anywhere on purpose. You're just moving. And movement without direction is a slow death in disguise. You think you're progressing, but you're just circling. You've got to get clear on what you want. Clarity is power. Most people don't lack potential, they lack clarity. They're frustrated, not because they can't succeed, but because they haven't defined what success looks like for them. Every morning, ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today that gets me one step closer to my dream? Not someday, not this year. Today, because a dream without a daily plan is a fantasy. I once met a young man who told me, I want to be a successful entrepreneur. I said, that's great. What did you do today that brought you closer to that? He looked at me, paused, and said, well, I watched a few videos on YouTube. I said, that's not enough. Watching is passive. Doing is active. You can watch people win all day, but that won't make you a winner. What's your daily plan? He didn't have one, and that's the problem. Most people are inspired, but not intentional. Inspiration feels good, but without structure, it fades. You need a system. You don't build a dream with emotion. You build it with action. That means writing your goals down every single morning. That means breaking your big dream into small, measurable targets. That means tracking your progress. That means saying no to distractions. Let me be clear, your dream will not compete for your attention. If you're not intentional, distractions will steal your destiny. Social media, gossip, meaningless conversations, scrolling, comparing. These things don't look dangerous, but they're dream killers in disguise. They rob you of your time, energy, and focus. So instead of letting your day control you, control your day, design your mornings. Decide what 3 things must get done before the sun sets. Be precise. Not, I want to write, but I will write 500 words today. Not, I want to be healthier, but I will drink 2 liters of water and walk for 30 minutes. You don't rise by wishful thinking. You rise by deliberate action. I remember a woman who told me she felt stuck in life. Every year felt the same. No progress, no change. I asked her, do you set daily goals? She said, no, I just try to get through the day. I told her, that's the problem. You're surviving, not designing. You're enduring life instead of building it. We sat down and created a 30-day plan. Each day, 3 clear goals. Within 30 days, her energy changed. She felt momentum. Why? Because clarity breeds movement, and movement creates confidence. Let me tell you something else. Small wins matter. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. Some people ignore the daily goals because they look too small, but big doors swing on little hinges. Small steps taken daily will take you further than occasional bursts of greatness. Every seed you plant today is preparing a harvest tomorrow. But if you don't plant, you don't grow. If you don't water, you don't reap. Look around at your life. Everything you're living right now is the result of what you've been doing daily. Your health, your mindset, your income, your relationships, it's all a reflection of your habits. You don't need a new life. You need a new routine, one that is guided by clear daily goals. Because you don't get the life you dream of. You get the life you plan for. Write the vision. Make it plain. Break it down. Then do it daily. That's how mountains move. That's how average people become exceptional. That's how potential becomes purpose. Not by talking about it, but by scheduling it. You see, what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. Your dreams don't need more excitement. They need more execution. You need to treat your goals like non-negotiables. Not if I have time, but not I make time, but I will. Your calendar should reflect your vision. Your priorities should match your goals. Your habits should reflect your hunger, because no matter how passionate you are, passion without structure burns out. Fire needs a fireplace. Dreams need direction, and your direction is built one focused day at a time. The most successful people in the world aren't the most gifted, they're the most consistent. They have mastered the art of small steps, taken with fierce discipline over time. So wake up tomorrow not just with motivation, but with a map. Don't just, I want better. Decide what that looks like, write it down, and commit to it daily. Because when you get serious about your goals get serious about showing up in your life. Protect your circle, because your environment is not neutral. It is either feeding your future or fighting it. The people around you are either pushing you forward or pulling you back. There is no middle ground. You cannot build a future around people who are addicted to your past. You cannot climb while you're connected to anchors. Some of the greatest delays in your life are not because of your talent, your potential, or your opportunities, but because of your relationships. Who you allow in your inner circle will determine how far your vision travels. You can't soar like an eagle if you're nesting with pigeons. You can't talk abundance with people who idolize scarcity. You can't discuss discipline with people who glorify distraction. And you cannot dream big around people who are intimidated by the size of your calling. Protect your circle, because if the people around you don't believe in growth, they will always be uncomfortable when you start changing. You have to be okay with losing some people when you start finding yourself. I've seen people with incredible gifts, visionaries, creators, builders, held back because they were too loyal to dysfunction. They stayed in circles that were familiar but toxic. They remained loyal to history instead of being faithful to destiny. Just because someone was part of your past doesn't mean they deserve access to your future. Sometimes love looks like distance. Sometimes growth looks like separation. And sometimes protecting your peace requires closing the door, not slamming it, just locking it gently and moving on in silence. I remember a man who kept saying he wanted to grow, to build, to expand, but every time he got momentum, his circle would talk him out of it. "Why are you working so hard?" they'd say. "You're acting brand new." And every time he heard those words, he would shrink again. He would self-sabotage, not because he lacked ambition, but because he was afraid of being alone. But here's the truth: isolation is often the birthplace of transformation. Sometimes God removes people from your life not to punish you, but to promote you. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. You can't become your highest self while surrounded by voices that feed your insecurities. If your circle only knows how to talk about other people instead of ideas, success, purpose, and legacy, then you're dining at the wrong table. Some people are so used to dysfunction that your desire for discipline threatens them. Your elevation exposes their excuses. Your consistency highlights their complacency. And rather than change, they'd rather criticize. That's why you have to protect your circle with the same intensity you protect your goals. Let me give you a life example. Imagine a person who has finally decided to live a healthier life. They've been consistent for a few weeks, waking up early, exercising, eating clean, and drinking water. But every time they hang around their old group, it's junk food, late nights, zero accountability. And every time they leave, they feel defeated, like their progress got drained. That's not a coincidence. That's influence. And if you're not careful, the wrong influence will always override the right intention, because proximity breeds similarity. You become what you're exposed to. If you hang around people with no drive, no goals, and no standards, you will eventually adapt to that rhythm. Not because you want to, but because atmosphere is stronger than willpower. That's why you must curate your circle the way an artist curates a gallery. Be intentional. Ask yourself, who speaks life into me? Who challenges me? Who holds me accountable? Who celebrates my progress instead of competing with it? If they can't answer those questions, they shouldn't have access to your energy. Your energy is sacred. Your time is holy. Your dream is fragile. It deserves protection, not pollution. There was a woman I mentored who had been trying to launch her dream business for years. Every time she got close to starting, her circle would flutter with doubt. What if it fails? What if people laugh? What if you lose everything? So she waited and waited until one day she cut off the noise. She changed her circle. She started surrounding herself with people who said, "What if it works?" And that one shift, it unlocked everything. Within 6 months, her business was thriving. Her confidence skyrocketed. Her peace returned. Why? Because voices build worlds. The right voices create courage. The wrong voices create confusion. You don't need a crowd. You need a core, a small group of people who will speak the truth even when it hurts. People who won't let you settle. People who sharpen you. People who remind you of who you are when life tries to make you forget. Protect your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Your mind, your momentum, and your mission are too important to be entangled with people who don't see what you carry. If they don't respect your boundaries, they don't respect your growth. And if they mock your discipline, they don't deserve your access. The truth is, some people were only meant to walk with you for a season. They were not assigned to your destiny, only your development. They taught you what to avoid. They showed you what not to repeat. Be grateful for the lesson, but don't drag them into your next chapter. Your dream requires space, space to think, space to create, space to become. And you can't do that when you're constantly managing toxic connections. So audit your circle often, not with bitterness, but with boldness. Ask yourself, does this relationship push me forward or pull me backward? Do they inspire me or drain me? Do they honor my vision or distract me from it? If the answer is not clear, the distance must be, because proximity is power. And the life you are building demands power, not parasites. Take relentless action. Relentless action is the heartbeat of success. Dreams do not come true simply because they are beautiful or deeply desired. They manifest because someone dared to move, to act, and to keep acting when the odds were stacked, when motivation disappeared, and when no one else believed. If you want to create the life of your dreams, you cannot just think about it, pray about it, talk about it. You must take relentless action. You must become obsessed with execution, because nothing changes until something moves. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack follow through. They start strong, full of fire and vision, but when resistance shows up, when things get uncomfortable, they slow down, sit down, or worse, give up. But here's the truth: the breakthrough is buried inside the boring. It's in the repetition. It's in the discipline of showing up when you don't feel like it, of doing the work when nobody's clapping, of pushing forward when nobody's watching. That is what separates those who dream from those who do. Relentless action isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. It's waking up with a sense of purpose and refusing to go to bed until something has moved forward, even if it's just by 1 inch. You don't become great by waiting for perfect conditions. You don't become impactful by waiting for permission. If you keep waiting until you're ready, you'll be watching life pass you by while someone with less talent but more grit overtakes you. Action beats intention every single time. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you don't act, those ideas die with you. The cemetery is full of unexecuted brilliance. Don't let yours be buried there too. Let me give you a simple example. I once knew a man who had a powerful business idea. Every time we spoke, he would light up talking about it. He had vision, he had clarity, and he had passion. But for 2 years, he did nothing with it. Why? He was waiting for everything to be perfect. He was researching, planning, refining, tweaking, and yet no action. Meanwhile, someone else launched a similar idea without all the bells and whistles. It wasn't perfect, but it was active. And today, that person is thriving, growing, winning, not because they were smarter, but because they were relentless. Relentless action means you're not married to comfort. It means you're okay with sweating before succeeding. It means you're willing to look foolish in public for a short season because you know what you're building in private is sacred. You have to train your spirit to stop needing applause. Success is not a public event. It's a private process. And every giant leap you ever make is born out of 1,000 unseen steps. You don't need motivation every day. You need habits because motivation fades, but habit sustains. Relentless people don't wait to feel like working. They work until they feel proud. They don't wait to feel inspired. They inspire themselves by keeping promises to themselves. And that's a key right there. Build self-trust. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you plan something, show up, not for others, but for yourself. Because when you stop breaking your own word, your confidence rises and confidence births momentum. Think of the athlete who trains in the dark, who practices the same drill over and over until it's muscle memory. They don't train because it's exciting. They train because the goal demands it. You must become a person of discipline, a person who moves with urgency, because the life you're dreaming of is waiting on the other side of your daily grind. It's not coming by magic. It's coming by movement. Every little action matters. Every email, every call, every book you read, every time you practice, it all adds up. That's how champions are built. Don't fall into the trap of one day. One day is a lie that steals today. One day becomes weeks, months, and years of delay. And while you're postponing action, life is not waiting. Time is not pausing. Opportunities are not standing still. They are moving, and you must move with them. The clock doesn't stop, so why should you? There will be days you feel tired. There will be moments when doubt screams louder than faith. But relentless action says, I'll do it anyway. Relentless action says, I don't need to feel it. I'm committed. And every time you push past your excuses, you break another layer of limitation. You discover how powerful you actually are, not because things were easy, but because you refuse to quit. And yes, it will be uncomfortable, but growth only lives outside your comfort zone. That's why most people stay stuck. They refuse to feel discomfort. But let me tell you, discomfort is not your enemy. It's your compass. It shows you the direction of your next level. When you feel fear, resistance, hesitation, that's not a sign to stop. That's a signal to lean in. Every great creator, leader, inventor, builder, at some point, they all had to choose action over fear. They all had to ignore the voice that said, you're not ready. They all had to silence the noise of doubt and do it anyway. They didn't become great overnight. They became great over time. And that time was built with action. So set your alarm early, build your routine. Write your goals. Move your feet, make the call, send the email, finish the project, study the craft, ask the questions, take the course, start the business, speak up, keep moving, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because the dream belongs to the doors, and the doors don't wait, they work. Relentlessly. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break limits. You were not created to live a life of quiet desperation, waking up every day just to exist. No, you were designed with purpose, loaded with potential, and positioned to create a life that reflects your greatness. You are not a mistake. You are not ordinary. You are not average. And if you've been living beneath your potential, it's time to shake yourself awake and rise to the call within you. Because the life of your dreams is not found in fantasy, it is forged in faith, fire, and forward movement. You must refuse to die with your music still in you. You must decide right now that enough is enough, that the cycle of fear, delay, and self-doubt ends with you, that the excuses your family made will not be your excuses, that the limitations you were told growing up were lies. Because let me tell you something, your past doesn't define you. Your pain doesn't imprison you. Your setbacks don't disqualify you. They prepare you. They shape you. They train you for the greatness you're about to step into. You're not behind. You're just being built. There comes a moment in every life where the decision must be made. Will I play small, or will I rise and claim what's already mine? Will I watch others live boldly while I shrink back? Or will I roar with the fire that's been buried inside of me for far too long? Because make no mistake, there is fire in you, untouched, unbothered, unused. It's time to light that fire, to wake up the sleeping giant in your soul. to stop rehearsing failure and start declaring victory. The life of your dreams will never chase you. You must chase it, and not with weak, passive intention, but with ruthless daily commitment. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you success. You must build it brick by brick, sweat by sweat, day by day. And when it gets tough, and it will get tough, you remind yourself, I didn't come this far just to come this far. You remind yourself that struggle is proof you're in the process. That pressure is proof of purpose. That opposition is often a sign that something powerful is being birthed through you. Greatness is never comfortable. It is never convenient, but it is always possible. And the only way you'll see it is to go after it with everything inside of you. Burn the bridges, eliminate the plan Bs, get rid of the safety nets, and jump with intention, because the net will appear only after you leap, not before. Faith is not waiting for proof. Faith is moving until proof appears. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. You don't need all the money, the support, the applause, or the qualifications to begin. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start now. Because if you wait until it's perfect, you'll still be waiting next year, watching others live the life you were supposed to create. And while you're wondering if you're enough, someone with half your skill is living with double your results because they moved. There's a saying that goes, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So, what future are you building? What legacy are you leaving? What story are you writing with your choices, your discipline, and your courage? This world doesn't need more copies, it needs originals. And your authenticity, your boldness, your voice, and your vision are your superpowers. The world is waiting for you to show up, not as who they told you to be, but as who you were born to be. You want the life of your dreams? Then fight for it. Bleed for it. Cry if you must, but never quit. Crawl if you must, but never stop. And when fear says, what if you fail? You answer back, what if I fly? When life knocks you down, you get up with power, look it in the face, and say, I was built for this. So dream loud, move fast, stay focused, and remember, the most dangerous person in the world is the one who has decided to never give up. That person is unstoppable. That person becomes legendary. That person is you.